Cracking, everybody. New video. So I was just going through emails, and one of my subscribers sent me email, right? And he had several different topic suggestions, and one of them was something that stuck out to me, and it was about the reality of prison conditions, right? I thought about it for a second, and that's what we're gonna do right now, but we're gonna do it my way. You guys know I have a different perspective and interpretation of questions, or so the true condition. This video is about the righteously true conditions of prison in California within the CDC. So most should know, whether it be through documentaries or television or movies or whatever it is, you're in a concrete tomb, basically. And you may be in a prison that has AC. You may be in one that allegedly has AC. You may be in one that has a swamp cooler. You may be in one that doesn't have shit, right? So the elements outside become very harsh inside the cell. And that's a reality of prison. But here's the real reality. The conditions of prison, the conditions of cell living, the conditions of doing time are different. Two men in the same cell have completely different experiences. You know why? Because they're dealing with completely different things up here. You'll have a dude in there that he's okay. He's okay with being in there. It's fun to him. For a lot of us, it's fun in the beginning, right? Then you see deaths happening that didn't need to happen. You see, you just see a lot of things where you're like, damn, man, getting a little older, this shit isn't as fun as it was, right? But like I was saying, is two men in the same cell having maybe completely different prison experiences. The same climate changes are affecting them, but their mentality. You know, when you hear, do your time, don't let your time do you. Some people don't know how to do their time, and so the time does them. I remember a guy when I was in the county jail. He was like half white, half Native American, and he had killed a bum. He had killed a homeless dude. So I had zero respect for him. I used to be really fucked up to that guy, but it was because I felt, he preyed on the weak. And I remember a couple dudes from my neighborhood. They see this video. You know who you are. There's no gangbanging in the county, but they saw this dude as a dummy, and so they plotted to jump him into the neighborhood, and then they're going to use him if somebody came that they really wanted from one of the rival barrios. They were going to send him and let him wreck after. It was stupid, eh? And I told them fools, and I told them in front of him, because they did jump him in. And I told him, you ain't never going to be from my neighborhood, eh? You know what I mean? What you did, I got zero respect for you. But I remember that guy, unless I was around, when he was with the homies away from me, he was having fun, He thought it was funny. And I remember he got offered a deal, 12 years. 12 years, there's a fucking dead body. 12 years. And he rejected the deal. And he came back and my Sally asked him, hey, what happened at court? He said, oh, they tried to offer me a bullshit deal. He said, oh, yeah, what was it, like 20 to life, 30 to life? What happened? He goes, no, 12 years. And we both looked at each other like, fuck? And I told him, hey, you're a fucking idiot. You're dumber than I thought you were. I'm telling you, I had zero respect for the Vato. That's why I would talk to him like that. I was like, you're really dumber than I thought, Holmes. I said, if they would offer me fucking 12 years right now, I'd sign with my fucking feet if I had to. But you don't, and he's like, no, but my co-defendant, he admitted to doing it, and I never admitted. And I was like, fool, you better go back and beg that DA for that 12, eh? No, this and that. I saw him. I got transferred. Boom, I went to Wasco. Probably 2 months after I went to Wasco, he shows up. This guy, I was, by that time, 20 years old, right? He was probably 20 years old, 19 maybe. He looked like he was 50 when he got to Wasco. That motherfucker had a crease in his forehead that was like unbelievable. Stress line. And I saw him and I started laughing. That's who I was back then, but I started laughing. I said, hey, you look like you caught a life sentence. He goes, I did. And I told him, you deserve it, you dumb fuck. But that's what I'm saying. How that kid went on to do his time, honestly, and this is no laughing matter, I wouldn't be surprised if he was dead within 5 years of that day, because the stress was so evident. And so I wanted to just give you guys that perspective. Think about that. Prison is extremely harsh, man. It is. Now, in other countries, it's way harder than here. But in my opinion, nobody does time the way Californians do time because of the politics here. It is you have to be extremely disciplined. And let me tell you another story real quick before I go. So I befriended an ex-lifer who was actually former special forces. He was in the special forces. He was a tier 1 operator, right? I mean, this dude was top notch. Caught a murder, and was pardoned by Schwarzenegger, right? But he was special forces for 20 something years, right? And then he caught that case, and he only did like 7-8 years, maybe something like that. And got that pardon, got out. And this man who was involved in dark operations, whatever, for decades, under those type of stresses, he said, you know what, man, I'm gonna tell you something. He goes, because I know what it's like to have a life sentence and do time, and what I know from my military background, he goes, the PTSD that comes from being a lifer, from being incarcerated for decades in California, he said that PTSD is worse than it is for the military. And he goes, the reason why is because in the military, you go and, you do your deployment, and then you get to come back and decompress. He said, when you go to prison, if you don't get out or you don't die, you don't get to decompress. That's another part of the reality of prison life. I just can't go into, the things that are added politically to your life that are on top of whatever stresses you're going through, whether it be depression, severe anger, family problems, but then you add expectations of prison on top of that. Each individual interprets those things differently, reacts to them differently, and it just adds so much more to You know, being in a cell. I remember being in a standalone unit in New Folsoms at SAG, and it was so freezing in the winter that we would be under a sheet because we still needed to be able to see the window, right? We would be under the sheet just like this, and you know, we had a fish, we would throw our line out there and then go back to get on, and your fingernails were blue. You know what I mean? It was so fucking crazy that, you know, and there's people that say, well, you deserve that. No, you don't. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it forever. Prison, incarceration should not be punishment. Incarceration should be rehabilitation, because so many of those that get incarcerated come back into the communities. You don't want to make them worse. You want to make them better. You want to make them into people who can be the examples to those that want to be what they were. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we try to do with these channels. That's what I try to do with mine. So I know I'm rambling. You guys know me. Sometimes I ramble. And this is one of those topics for me. It's something that you know, Fridays usually is a good day to release videos. You get a lot of views. I'll be surprised if I get 5,000 on this one. But you know what? You guys know I always mix these in, man, because this is where my heart is. So with that, stay safe, stay smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, right? I'm out.